Got a couple of announcements. We have given Jose Valverde his unconditional release. We will have a pitcher in his place tomorrow. Process of notifying that individual, and as soon as we have, we'll give you the name. The second announcement I have is that we're making a change with our hitting coach. Dave Hudgens will be leaving that position and be replaced by Lamar Johnson. Lamar has a long history as a major league hitting coach, very successful with several organizations through the late 90s, early 2000s. He's been with our organization for 11 years, 10 years as our hitting coordinator. The minor league system is doing an exceptional job this year offensively, leading most offensive categories as an organization, and Lamar will be here tomorrow. This is a very difficult decision to have to make. I've known Dave for many years, decades. I have tremendous respect for him, his expertise, his work ethic, his personal relationships with players. Just an incredibly hard worker. At the same time, we've had issues home and road over the last several years, not just this season. We've also, our situational hitting is not where we want it to be. So our hitting approach will not change appreciably. Anytime there is a new person, there's a new voice, a new take, a different interpretation, both from a mechanical as well as a sort of an approach point of view. This is unfortunately what baseball is about, and so we've decided to make that change effective tomorrow. Okay. Any questions?
Sandy, just the approach you talked about is obviously organization-wide. So sometimes I know just to get a different voice, you're looking for that. But what minor tweaks would you expect or would you want within this approach that you think can help what's going out on the field?
I think we have to wait until Lamar arrives. The good thing about, as I said, Lamar's been with the organization for many years. He's had many of these players at the minor league level. He's been directly involved during spring training with all of our players over the last several years, including this spring. So from that standpoint, I'm not a hitting coach, and leave it to Lamar to, after presumably some period of observation, make those suggestions directly with the players themselves.
May I also ask you about the announcement before the game? The severity of Noah Syndergaard, are you not concerned or concerned?
At this point, we don't have a high level of concern, but anytime the forearm is involved, we like to have it looked at. So we're flying him back. He'll be seen tomorrow, and we'll have further information at that time.
Did this linger over a few starts, or was this just something you brought up after the last start?
I don't believe it's something that's been significant over the last few starts. I think this was following his last start. But I'm not going to tell you categorically that it hasn't existed before. I just don't know the precise answer to that question.
Sandy, on the Valverde, can Black come back? Is that different with the 26th man?
Yes, he can come back.
Just on Hudgens, when did you sort of come to this decision as a group? Just how far back are we looking? Did you start looking at this, exploring this as an option?
Well, it's been something that we've considered for a period of time, and I was hoping that we'd see some significant change perhaps during this homestand, and we have been getting more hits. Situational hitting has not improved substantially. I mean, we're getting people on base, we're not getting them in. But to answer your question specifically, look, when you're not scoring runs at the rate you'd like to, it's a consideration. And we've been very good on the road, but not nearly as successful at home.
Sandy, when did you let Dave know?
Just a few minutes ago.
A few minutes ago.
Yep.
And Did you detail for him why, or was it not really necessary?
No, we talked about it briefly. Dave's been in the game a long time, so I think he understood the circumstances. As I said, it's a difficult decision, and it's not always a question of black and white. But we felt that this was something we needed to do, and do it now after almost 2 months of the season. But Dave's been with us since 2011, and some of the issues, at least, have existed since that time.
Sandy, should this be considered a warning to the rest of the coaching staff and the manager, or is this just an isolated situation?
I think this is in response to a specific situation, and nothing else should be read into it by any means.
Sandy, obviously, as you alluded to, the organizational approach of hitting is not going to change, the concepts that you guys put together. But are you looking for more one-on-one? Are you looking for more time, maybe more looking at video? Is there a specific thing that you're looking for from the new guy that you're not getting now?
I think the short answer is no, other than results.
Sandy, with Valverde being gone, and you do have young pitching in the minors, can we expect more young pitching to come up now and things like that? Or because it seems like you've tried to retread some of these veteran relievers the last few years and it hasn't worked out.
Well, what we've done, as I think I've said in the past, our bullpen will get better when our young players, young pitchers, emerge at the major league level. Not only will we have better arms, but we'll have more flexibility. So, until today, our bullpen statistically pretty good. The one flaw in it was the lack of a closer, a consistent closer. We're working in that direction now. But we felt that, the older pitchers, first those who came during spring training and competed for a rotation spot, for example, Lannon and Matsuzaka, as well as the guys that we had in the bullpen who would also compete, were really there to allow us to further develop the young guys. Until recently, our relief pitching at Las Vegas had not been that consistently good. Vic Black has been good as of late. We have Gonzalez Herman, who's pitched well for us, who's on the disabled list. We have 2 starters now. May only need 1 if Dylan G comes back. So, from that standpoint, I think we're feeling very good about the young pitching that we have, both in the rotation and in the pen. And so I don't think this is entirely unexpected.
I want to get one more.
You partially answered what I was going to ask with your answer there, but just with Mejia looking like he's going to be comfortable in that role, could you have done this move without that? Was that kind of a security blanket to have as a guy who could close until Mejia showed that he can do it in a way?
Yes. We had, if you think about the bullpen as we started the season, we had John Lannon, who was a conversion. We had Jose, and we had Farnsworth. And we almost immediately lost Parnell. So, and if you look at, saves and save opportunities, very low conversion rate. But we didn't feel any of the older pitchers were really going to be the answer long term, which is why we made the move with Mejia, 10 days or so ago. So if that works, given the way Familia has pitched and some of the others that we have out there today notwithstanding, we feel pretty good.
Last one.
Sandy,
Yep.
You just said if Dylan G comes back. Do you understand his injury situation to be of greater severity now?
No. He will be back, although there's always that, who knows, risk, but we fully expect that he will be back. It's just a question of when. And so we'll just see. So if I said if, that was, I misspoke.